In today's video I'm going to be discussing the costumes that I used in my film and the reason why I used them. Now, looking at many different crime films throughout my research, I found that the typical costumes used are either suits or prison wear, like jumpsuits, orange jumpsuits. So looking at my trailer and what I wanted to do in terms of the storyline, I found that I didn't want to use the prison side of stuff. I also looked at detectives that also wear suits. Now if we look back to the film American Hustle, we can see that the costumes they are wearing are suits. They are criminals, as well as the police that wear suits. Now this is very hard to sort of distinguish between characters in terms of binary opposites, which is sort of harder for my audience to guess what is going on, considering that they're shown 2 minutes of a story, 2 minutes of a certain aspect of the film, and not given any background story to maybe who's the villain and who's the sort of good guy in the situation. Now I do sort of hint in terms of the mise-en-scène. I use a earpiece that are used by typical like CIA, FBI agents. Now I found this was a good method to sort of maybe distinguish the character a bit more. As well, opposite to that, with the character that was the gangster with the money, I used golden rings, a golden bracelet, and just made him look, he just looked a bit more like a thug. Now, when I did my research, I thought, okay, when I'm going to have to get the costume together, I need to get certain props. I mean, the props I did get in the end were a briefcase, the money as seen on the screen, and the rings, as I said, and the earpiece. Now these, I got all these props off of Amazon, apart from the money and the briefcase, but I had to sort of look around in terms of, okay, what is going to be acceptable, what is going to fit the conventions of the trailer. So also, I just made the characters look very smart. Both were dressed in very nice suits, which at the time I thought, okay, this is conventional. It's my inspirations just gave me the idea. So I wanted to sort of increase that factor as well by, you know, also including the gun which came into the costume. That gun is a replica of I believe it's a Beretta pistol, used in many different sort of action and crime films. So using a gun that looks very realistic instead of ones that maybe look slightly faker and look plastic, it definitely sort of enhanced the movie's credibility in a way. And also I increased I developed the aspect of blood. Originally I didn't want there to be any blood in the film because I thought it's going to be hard to create, and also where am I going to get it from. I also looked to Amazon to get some fake blood. I managed to get quite a lot for a very cheap price. This was very useful as it was used in one of my end scenes and it looks very realistic. Many people, when I did my audience research, they said that it does look very realistic, so again that adds just credibility to the film. When it came to using the fake money, which comes under my props that was included in the costume, all it really was I managed to have one note, one real note actually, and managed to photocopy just maybe 15 copies, and then I managed to sort of stack the paper, just regular paper cut into the same size as a £50 note, and just sort of rubber band it underneath, so only the head of the face could be displayed. Now this is a good method. Just some more shots there. This is a good method as it looks quite realistic apart from like the certain watermarks used. And for the rings I used these replicas. Now they are metal, so it just sort of gave that better look to it. They look more realistic. And the bracelet is a plastic bracelet. It actually said comes under a chunky gangster bracelet. So yeah, it just adds to the mise-en-scène. It just makes it much more realistic. Again with the briefcase, if we see in the film American Hustle, it is very similar to it, which I sort of wanted to recreate, and I actually got this for very cheap. It was only £5, but the overall look of it just looks very professional.